Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going to be looking at something a little bit different.
Okay.
Yeah. A piece of writing that you actually specifically ask us to kind of dig into.
Right.
So we're talking about Psalm 34
Yeah.
from the New Living Translation of the Bible. We accessed it through your version.
That's right. You brought this one to our attention.
I did.
And we're really going to unpack it today. We're going to try to pull out some of those key insights and understandings.
Yeah.
And then think about what might be really useful for someone like you who's really focused on absorbing knowledge efficiently and finding some practical wisdom.
Absolutely.
Some applicable stuff.
Yeah, and just for full transparency, we're looking at Psalms 34, the pipe symbol, NLT Bible,
Right.
pipe symbol,
Yep.
YouVersion,
You got it.
copyright by Tyndale House Foundation and Life, Church/YouVersion in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Do it.
let's get into it. So one of the things that I noticed right away, just at the very beginning, is this little bit of context.
Yeah. And what I find really interesting is just how much information those opening lines give us right away.
Yeah.
It says, this psalm is a Hebrew acrostic poem.
Yeah.
Each verse begins with a successive letter of the Hebrew alphabet.
So an acrostic poem, and this is for anyone who might not be familiar, it's basically like a poem where the first letter of each line spells out
Right.
something, right?
Exactly.
In this case, it's following the Hebrew alphabet.
Yep.
So there's like this deliberate structure beyond just like,
Yeah,
the words.
for sure. I mean, that's a great point to think about. Like,
Yeah.
beyond just being a memory aid, which is one of the things that
Yeah.
acrostics were often used for in ancient literature.
Yeah.
Like, it helps you remember things. But I think it's really cool to think about that
Right.
the very act of structuring this song alphabetically, could have conveyed a sense of God's comprehensive nature. Like, you're going through the A to Z
Yeah.
of faith or experience, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's really thorough and complete.
Yeah, they wanted to make sure that they, kind of covered
Yeah.
the full spectrum. And then there's this background that's given. A psalm of David regarding the time he pretended to be insane in front of Abimelech, who sent him away.
Talk about an origin story for a piece of praise, right?
Yeah. It really makes you think about the context of this, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because this is not a psalm, that's being written out of a moment of victory or ease,
Right.
but rather from a time of vulnerability and even deception.
Yeah.
David had to pretend to be crazy, basically,
Yeah.
to get out of a sticky situation. So what do you think? How do you think that experience of feigned madness might have actually deepened David's understanding of reliance and deliverance?
That's a good question. It really does show you, or at least suggest, that all of the themes about fear and dependence and being rescued that we find in this psalm, it suggests that they're rooted in a very real
Oh, yeah.
human experience and not
For
just
sure.
abstract theological
Okay, so-
concepts, right?
Okay, so let's look at some of these verses. So verses 1 through 3, we're really establishing a tone here of
Right.
praise and trust.
Right off the bat, that first line, I will praise the Lord at all times.
Yeah.
I will constantly speak his praises.
That's a big statement, isn't it?
Yeah, it's powerful.
Yeah.
It's pointing to this commitment to gratitude and worship that doesn't depend on
Yeah.
what's happening around you. It's not just when things are going well.
Right.
It's consistently through everything.
That's a big commitment to make. What do you think about that?
I think it's huge. And it's a challenge, right?
Oh, yeah.
To think about praise as something that's not just a reaction to good circumstances,
Yeah.
but it's like a foundation
Yeah.
for how we approach life. It's a choice. And then in verse 2, we hear, I will boast only in the Lord.
Yeah.
Let all who are helpless take heart.
So that's kind of an interesting angle on things, isn't it?
It is. It's like saying you can find strength.
Yeah.
Not in your own abilities, but by admitting your limitations
Right.
and placing your trust in something bigger than yourself.
Right.
And I love that it's specifically addressed to those who feel helpless.
Right.
It's like an invitation to find hope when you feel powerless.
Yeah. It's like shifting the focus away from what can I do
Exactly.
and putting the focus on who am I trusting?
Right, right. And then in verse 3, we start to see the communal aspect here. Come, let us tell of the Lord's greatness. Let us exalt his name together.
Yeah. It's not just you by yourself.
Yeah.
It's a shared experience.
Yeah,
It's inviting others in,
right.
and that shared belief and that encouragement, it makes a big difference, I think.
Yeah, and it can really amplify the message and give people this sense of community.
For sure.
Right. Okay, so moving on to verses 4 through 7, we're seeing this personal testimony, right?
Yeah.
I was delivered, my prayers were answered. It's very direct.
Yeah, it feels really personal.
Yeah. I prayed to the Lord, and he answered me. He freed me from all my fears. It's very first person, right? You can
Yeah.
almost feel that personal connection.
Yeah.
And it suggests that reaching out to a higher power can bring real relief,
Yeah.
like anxiety relief.
And who doesn't want freedom from fear, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Those who look to him for help will be radiant with joy. No shadow of shame will darken their faces.
I love that imagery.
Yeah.
That radiant joy, that confidence,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
comes from asking for help. It's like it's saying there's no shame in needing support.
Right. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. And then we got a picture of protection here. For the angel of the Lord is a guard. He surrounds and defends all who feel him.
I find that imagery really comforting.
Yeah.
Whether you take it literally or as a metaphor, it just gives you this sense of security.
Yeah.
Like there's a protective force watching over you.
Okay. Verses 8 through 10 kind of shift gears a little bit.
Yeah.
Here we're seeing this emphasis on the goodness of the Lord and the importance of reverence.
Right? Fear is the word that's used here.
Right, right. So verse 8 is almost like a dare, right?
Yeah.
Taste and see that the Lord is good.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, it's not just about believing something you heard.
Right.
It's about experiencing it for
Oh,
yourself.
taste test.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
And then boom. Oh, the joys of those who take refuge in him. It's, again, that same thing. There's that refuge, that
Safety.
safety,
Yeah.
that trust.
Yeah, but then we get to this word fear, right? Fear the Lord,
Yeah.
you his godly people.
Mm-hmm.
For those who fear him will have all they need. Now, fear can be a loaded word.
Oh, for sure. It's got some baggage, right?
Yeah. So what do you think it means in this context?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't think it means being terrified,
Right.
like paralyzed with fear. It's more about like deep respect,
Okay.
awe, reverence. It's recognizing how powerful and majestic the divine is
Yeah.
and responding with humility and obedience.
So it's almost like the awe that you would feel looking up at a huge mountain.
Yeah, exactly. That
Right.
recognition of something much greater than yourself.
Yeah. So less about cowering in fear and more about standing in awe.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. Even strong young lions sometimes go hungry, but those who trust in the Lord will lack no good thing. This is a big one because lions are a symbol of strength, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they're still going hungry. I mean, what's that about?
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? It's almost like it's flipping the script.
Yeah.
Where we usually think strength and security come from.
Right.
Even the mightiest creatures can face hardship,
Right.
but those who put their trust in something beyond themselves are promised provision.
It's a different kind of strength, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're about halfway through here, verses 11 to 14. Now we're getting into wisdom.
Yeah.
Right.
Practical advice.
Yeah, very practical. Come, my children, and listen to me, and I will teach you to fear the Lord. This feels like a teacher talking to his students.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It's passing on this understanding.
Of reverence and what it means.
Yeah. Okay, so verse 12. Does anyone want to live a life that is long and prosperous? Well, I think most people would say yes to that.
Yeah, I think so too.
So then how do you do that? Then keep your tongue from speaking evil and your lips from telling lies. Turn away from evil and do good. Search for peace and work to maintain it. So this is very, very practical every day.
Yeah, these are things you can actually do.
Yeah.
It's not just, vague ideas.
Well, it's like a very clear cut.
Exactly. And, regardless of your beliefs,
Yeah.
honesty, kindness, pursuing peace, these are just good things.
Yeah.
They make for a healthier and more positive life.
And that's something that everyone can get behind, regardless of their background.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So verses 15 through 18, we're getting into this idea of divine observation and justice.
Right, like there's a moral order to things.
Right. The eyes of the Lord watch over those who do right. His ears are open to their cries for help. It's a very comforting thought, right?
It is. There's this awareness of your struggles.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a willingness to listen.
Yeah. But the Lord turns his face against those who do evil. He will erase their memory from the earth. So that's a little bit of a different picture, right?
Yeah, that's pretty powerful imagery.
Yeah.
It's like their influence and their legacy are completely wiped out.
Yeah. The Lord hears his people when they call to him for help. He rescues them from all their troubles. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted. He rescues those wose spirits are crushed.
This is such beautiful language.
Yeah.
For so much comfort and hope.
Yeah,
especially to those who are going through a lot of pain.
right.
You're not alone.
And then finally, 19 through 22, we're talking about the trials of the righteous
Right.
and ultimately the promise of deliverance, right?
Yeah. The righteous person faces many troubles, but the Lord comes to the rescue each time.
It's a realistic view.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right.
Not trouble-free, but you're
Yes.
supported. Yeah.
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 And then this one. For the Lord protects the bones of the righteous. Not one of them is broken.
Wow, that's a really vivid image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Is that literal? Is that metaphorical?
Yeah, it could be both, couldn't it?
Yeah.
It could be about physical protection,
Right.
but also this sense of being completely safeguarded,
Right.
even when you're going through something really tough.
Yeah. Calamity will surely destroy the wicked, and those who hate the righteous will be punished. But the Lord will redeem those who serve him. No one who takes refuge in him will be condemned.
There's that idea of refuge again,
Yeah.
that
I think it
safety.
all comes back to that, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
So, wow, we have covered a lot in Psalm 34. It's amazing. It's praise, it's trusting in a higher power, it's personal stories of rescue,
Yeah, it's got it all.
it's practical advice,
Mm-hmm.
the promise of divine protection,
Because that's
even when you're facing challenges.
Yeah, and I think what's really cool is that this song continues to resonate with people
Yeah.
across all kinds of different experiences,
Yeah.
whether you're in a really dark place or you're feeling hopeful and you're trying to figure out what it means to live a good life.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that even when you're feeling vulnerable, there's a path towards strength and security through faith
That's right.
and living a life based on good principles.
That's right. So, listener, as you reflect on all of this, think about which of these verses or these themes that we talked about, which ones resonate with you the most. How might you actually use these ideas in your own life?
Yeah, it's ancient wisdom,
Yeah,
but it's still relevant.
it is. And what does it really mean to take refuge in something greater than yourself? That's something for you to think about long after we're done here today.
It is.
Thanks for joining us for the deep dive.
Thanks for listening.